Today's show is brought to you by Thaiger Property for all your real estate needs in Thailand. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Thaiger Bites. A lot more cozy, a lot more comfortable, and slightly soft.
Well, we are in a luxury pool villa at Trishada in Chiang Mai, Phuket. So this is the more relaxed version of the program. But we will still have all your comments here in the program amongst all these fluffy cushions.
Yeah, so visit Thaiger Properties now and you can check out Trishada in a 3D walkthrough as these villas are selling like hot pancakes.
We actually, during Good Morning Thailand yesterday, we had people coming through during the program looking at the villas and they sold one.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, and we're looking forward to our commission. Thank you very much, Doug.
Air.
Yes.
All right, my first comment today is from Nick, who says, Nick Tesley, a member. He says,
hi Nick.
About the Rao Tiu Doi Kan. It's
The what?
not, it doesn't really work. Rao Tiu Doi Kan. So it's basically the Thailand government came up with a scheme to...
This is the travel stimulus?
That's right,
Okay.
for domestic travel. Got large discounts for Thai nationals when they visited out. So he said, about the Rao Tiu Doi Kan, it doesn't really work. My sister who lives in Thailand told me that even 30 to 40% off on hotel rates are still not affordable to most Thai people. It seems only high society, aka high so, get benefits from this. Firstly, Nick, 30 to 40% off hotels I think is a pretty significant cut. I don't know what fancy hotels you might be planning to go to. I understand, you know, people like to go to nice places during holidays, but there are many affordable places as well. Now, personally, I definitely am not a high so, not at Natty or Carmel's level.
Oh, no. Whew.
Yeah, but I took a trip from Phuket to Bangkok and I drove up to Khao Yai. And I used the Rao Tiu Doi Kan from my friend who had the discount, and we stayed at a fairly modest place with a really good discount. So I guess it depends what hotel you pick, where you decide to travel. But I really enjoyed and used the benefits of Rao Tiu Doi Kan. Whoever of my friends who had it, I went with them. We traveled a lot. It was really good. So did you use it by any chance?
Well, no, because I'm not Thai, so I wasn't able to get it. No, we didn't do it. A few comments, though. Firstly, the travel stimuluses worked with the Thais when they first started reopening about sort of 18 months ago, and we're trying to stimulate local travel. But the take-up of this latest scheme has been a lot less than in the past. Part of the reason being that I believe that you could go onto something like bookings.com and get lower rates than their 40% discount. So what were they discounted from? Basically from the rack rate, which when you go into some of these OTAs were lower than the rates that were being operated on the programs.
No, that's not how it works. So for example, you can go to booking.com, it's 1,000 baht for the room, and then when you get to the hotel, you can use your Rao Tiu Doi Kan and get a further discount.
But weren't they based on the hotel's rack rates, the discounts?
What do you mean by rack rate?
The rack rate, which is the standard rate for the room before discounts are applied.
But that's what I'm saying. Like whether it's booking.com, so whatever money you choose, like 1,000 baht per night, it'll be an on top discount. So it doesn't matter whatever their rack rate or whatever.
Okay, well if that's the way the scheme worked, okay, I understand. But also you didn't have to go to a 5-star hotel. You could go to a 3-star hotel, which were considerably cheaper. And generally, over the past 6 months, for example, as Thailand's slowly been reopening, the cost of the rooms has been lower. They have been discounting the rooms to try and encourage you to come back, such that I was able to stay in Bangkok hotels for a lot less than 1,000 baht a night. Some really nice hotels. Sometimes I was getting like a 1-bedroom apartment. There are some higher costs you'll pay, but if you have a good look around, there are bargains to be found. And then adding this, I'm not fully aware of the scheme. So, but if that's the way it operates, well, so be it.
People don't like the word scheme.
A program, a discount stimulus program. Okay, I'm doing the random tweets thing again. So I've just opened up moving past all the messages, the Thaiger Facebook studio. And okay, I just arrived in Thailand after 6 horrible months in Mexico, says Terry Cavender. There is no way Mexico should rank above Thailand. So this is in response to a video that Natty did a couple of weeks ago called How to Retire in Thailand. So people, when they talk about where to retire, they often say that Thailand is not as popular as it used to be. It's not quite as enticing. It's perhaps more expensive than it used to be. But this person believes that, he didn't have a good time in Mexico during his 6 months there. So everybody's got their own feelings. I think a lot of people liked Mexico because they didn't have the same level of COVID restrictions. So it was a lot easier to get into. How it transpires down the track as a retirement location, we'll just have to see. I'm not sure of the provisions for Mexico for retiring, so I can't really comment. But thank you, Terry.
Is it Mexico or Mexico?
Yes.
My next comment is from Anthony Sydney, who says, Jay, as a Thai, how do you feel about Tim's endless chatter about sex tourism? Tim's shirt is a sort of giveaway. Does he wear shades out also? Well, Anthony, sex tourism is one of the reasons Tim's found his way to Thailand, so I've just gotten used to it, basically. Tim, do you have any comments about why you're so obsessed with sex tourism?
I think they're talking about the shirts I used to wear more often in the past, which were the ridiculously overt sort of Songkran Hawaiian shirts.
I think they had nothing to do with the sex tourism.
But I think that's what they sort of thought, that I looked like a sex tourist. Whereas some people said you look like a 70-year-old pedophile. Thank you very much for the comments. I'm neither a sex tourist nor a pedophile, I'm quite happy to say. I didn't come to Thailand for that reason. And I think it's quite well documented that I'm not a frequenter of bars. In fact, I can say, except for completely research reasons, like tracking along with you or Jason for a story, I've never actually been as a private citizen down to a bar to enjoy what some people come here to enjoy. I'm happily partnered, got a house in Phuket, and that's where it ends. But thank you for your comment anyway.
Right.
Another one from me. I'll just randomly go down here. Typical bureaucrat BS that has been applied all around the world. This is in relation to Thailand nightlife video, getting ready to reopen. Good Morning Thailand yesterday. It's all about saving face. The world has now opened and left Thailand and COVID behind. These restrictions in Thailand only enforces corruption, with the police taking bribes, allegedly, from bar owners to remain open, etc. Same. And this from Rocket Rooster 177, as distinct from Rocket Rooster 176. So the feeling that all the bars that have reopened ostensibly as restaurants who have registered through SHA Plus provisions may have made some payments in brown paper bags to some people. We can't comment on that, we don't know, but there appears to be little enforcement on the real rules, and there seems to be a reality, as you found out when you walked along the streets of Bangla Road in Phuket on Thursday night, that a lot of the night spots around Thailand, including Pattaya, including parts of Nana, Soy Cowboy, although not fully open, there is certainly plenty of nightlife already active and operating, which seems to be, as this writer suggests, in contravention with what the officials are still telling people. The contradiction is part of the wonders of living here in Thailand.
Starchild's got a comment for you, Tim. He says, no umpires in soccer, sir, full stop. You said there was an umpire in soccer. Firstly, it's football, but isn't who's the guy that holds up the cards? He's called a referee.
Well, is a referee an umpire?
No, it's an umpire is the guy in cricket. Yes, I mean, ideally their job function and description is
call them what you
probably
like.
the same.
Call it soccer or football. I mean, at the end of the day, they are the person who puts their hands up and stops the game or blows their whistle, holds up the card. That's an umpire. Call it a referee, whatever you like. Same thing.
Well,
Stop
respectfully
nitpicking.
call it football and referees. I know, but it's that whole debate about, is it soccer or is it football? It's football. Is it referee or is it umpire? It's referee. But people get very sensitive when it comes to sport.
But if you're in the United States and you refer to football, you're definitely not talking about soccer.
Yeah.
You're talking about the is gridiron?
No, American football.
American football,
Yeah.
which I think is also known as gridiron. But
guess.
American football. In Australia, if you refer to football, you're talking about Australian rules football.
Yes.
You're not talking about soccer.
But America and Australia are the only two countries that refer to football as soccer.
Where did the word soccer come from?
Americans, I'm guessing?
Okay. We don't know.
We don't know. Probably Australia if it was up to you.
Kel Stewart, and this is completely unread. Could someone share a link to a site or document showing that it is legal and lawful requirement to wear a mask in public outdoors and in a private vehicle? Okay, so this is about what people perceive as a mask mandate in Thailand. And as we've said often, oh my God, I don't know how many times we've had to say this, and people keep on trying to stir the pot. But it is not a law. It is not something that has been debated in Parliament, decided in Cabinet, and then become a law in the Royal Gazette, in the way that a lot of laws are enacted in countries with a parliamentary system.
Yeah.
However, Thailand is currently under a thing called the Emergency Decree, and it has been so since April 2020. And one of the guidelines of the Emergency Decree is that people will wear face masks in public. And this is moderated or changed or regulated by the CCSA, which has been empowered with making all decisions relating to COVID-19 pandemic in Thailand. So it's a requirement or a guideline under the Emergency Decree. So, and the fact is that most Thai people walk around with masks because of this guideline as determined through the Emergency Decree. So I hope that sort of clears it up in a very, very broad way, that if you come to Thailand and you don't want to wear a mask, and if you want to then say, well, it's not a law, good luck going to the judge with that, and you can fight out the intricacies of Thai constitutional law as long as you like. My only recommendation to people, if you come to Thailand and the people around you are wearing masks, I would warmly recommend that you do the same. If you want to make a thing about it, if you want to make a stand and refuse to wear a mask because it's your right or because it's not a law in Thailand, then good luck with that, and I hope you don't get fined. Did that clarify it?
I think
I
so.
hope it did.
I think so.
I'm sick of talking about it, really, but it's not a law. You're absolutely right. We've discussed this with Ben Hart from Integrity Legal. We've discussed it with so many people, and we've passed this information on so many times. I can't believe that people keep on wanting to talk about it.
I think this is the best segue to my next comment, which is from Ron, who says, haha, just a shy hour is not enough for Tim to express all his frustration and anger collected over the last 11 years in Thailand. That was a prime example of his frustration over the last 11 years. Ron's on point.
Well, but again, you're asking questions I suppose have been asked so many times, and my frustration is about people asking the same question over and over and over again, whereas 5 minutes on the internet will give you the answers required without trying to challenge us or try to suggest that we've misled people. That's not the case. But look, my role here is sort of as the angry man. My role here is Jay's the nice, polite guy. I'm the nasty old man, and that's sort of my role here.
You just make me look polite.
Well, you are. People think you're polite. He's not really.
I'd like to think I'm slightly polite.
Krishna says, of course, people like to remember the times that I'm sort of grumpy and nasty and sort of, slamming my fist on the table. I don't do that all the time. You can look at, 5 years of videos to see that.
I think you're quite respectful. I've never seen you step out of line.
I might today, you never know. Krishna says, we'll be in Bangkok by the 30th of May. Keep me updated on such perks. We'll come by and say hi to you all. I'm not sure which perks you're talking about. We sent an a message yesterday to members. Dear members, I haven't read that post. Do you know what it was?
Yeah, it was me who posted
What
it.
was it about?
I was just
perks?
asking Oh, no. I messaged all the members that if you're in town, me and Jason will be going to the walking street tonight. So look out for us. Come say hi.
Okay.
We'll be at this location at this time.
So I'm sure we're going to be doing something similar in Bangkok in coming weeks.
So sorry,
no doubt.
was that person asking about member perks?
Maybe they were referring to the fact of catching up with you guys. What was a perk?
That was not the meet and greet. Like, yes, as members, you will have special meet and greets, which we will be doing hopefully mid this year. Is it the middle of the year yet?
No, the 30th of June, 1st of July is the middle of the year.
Let's call it July. In July, we're going to have a meet and greet. There, I've said it.
Okay.
In July.
In Bangkok.
Yes.
Okay, we look forward to it. Over to you.
All right, my second last comment is from Mark Allen, who says, the new Filipino dictator, I think he's talking about Ferdinand
Marcos Jr.
Bongbong,
But Bongbong, President Bongbong.
financed the rewrite of recent history using social media with some of the missing billions his family stole. Sadly, this is likely to trend that has and will continue to infect many embattled democracies.
Okay, so the Marcos family stole billions of dollars, and ever since the downfall of Ferdinand Marcos, him fleeing the country, Cory Aquino became the new Philippine president at that time. But after 15 years of martial rule, people had had enough in the Philippines. And what happened to those billions of dollars? The son seems to know nothing about it. And he's now the president. He was elected in a landslide. He's now the president of the Philippines for the next 6 years.
And do you know that quote, the winners write history?
Something like that.
And I mean, he rewrote history not being the winner. Now that he's the winner, I wonder what he's going to be able to do.
Well, when he was standing up there and people were questioning him about these missing billions, he pretty much just batted it off, saying, I don't have the money, I don't know where it is.
But it's a full 24-hour gig, isn't he? Because he even dresses like a very modest person.
Sure, and he's played that I'm just one of you and I want to see the Philippines improve, and he's played a very good election, and he's now elected, and apparently a free and fair election.
All right.
Good luck to him and the Philippines. Eric Chong says, I'm okay wearing a mask, but please remove the Thailand pass. I'm going to sort of move on with this and say, if there was one thing that's stopping people coming back to Thailand at the moment, is it more likely to be the fact that they are required to wear a mask at the moment? Or is it the fact that they have to go through the Thailand Pass online registration system? What is actually stopping people?
It can't be the face mask.
But I think perhaps for some people it is.
It's just like for a couple of seconds, and as soon as you're in, you know?
But I think, particularly like American people, it's become highly politicized. And I think they do take it very, very seriously. Asian people, less so. They think, oh, I've got to wear a mask, doesn't bother me.
Yeah, they call it face nappies.
Face nappies, yes. For me, it's a requirement. I know these days if I go outside or if I have to go somewhere, keys, a phone, wallet, face mask. It's just something that I feel I've got to take with me, and I sort of almost feel naked if I don't have it on. But I don't know. For some people, it's going to be, I will not come back until I can walk around without a face mask. But maybe the Thailand pass for some people, that the annoyance, if you like, of having to upload your passport details, your vaccination status, and your prepaid insurance, maybe that itself is a barrier. Maybe it's the cost of flights at the moment because they're more expensive than they used to be. Maybe it's just the fact that Thailand's not fully open, that there's still curfews in some places. Maybe there's this confusion over whether bars are open or not, or if they're officially open or not. I don't know what the major barriers are for people, but this person says it's the Thailand pass that is the barrier for them. Thank you, Eric.
All right, my last comment is from Alistair, who says, if I wear a suit, look young and sharp, Can I apply for the smart visa? Oops, the 20 million baht might be a problem though.
Okay, so there has been quite a lot of discussion over the past week about a new visa. No, sorry, it's not a new visa. It's an update of the smart visa, and they're now open to more skilled people of different industries to come to Thailand under the smart visa, and they've also reduced the entry price from 100,000 baht down to 50,000 baht, so a 50% discount, showing that they're really keen on people to apply for these 10-year visas. And then you can actually apply for a work permit under those visas. So, yeah, if you are interested, I would suggest you either go and talk to your embassy or you go and speak to a visa agent. Don't send us inquiries about it because we will refer you to a visa agent or to your embassy to find out more information. But if you go to your embassy website, there should be lots of information about those visas. Jim Becker's return to Thailand. That's his name. Nice start, Natty. This is referring to a video that went online earlier this week called Thailand's Sex Industry, A Brief History. And he says, I hope this is the first of many on the subject. It needs to be discussed and understood who impacts and how, etc. So we've actually had quite a few comments, Jay, during the week about the Thailand's sex industry video. And a lot of people saying, you've only spoken about the effect of Western tourism and Westerners on the sex industry, and you've disregarded the fact that the sex industry has been happening in Thailand for hundreds of years before, in different stages of waves of people coming to Thailand and slavery, and they've linked a whole lot of different topics. We acknowledge that around the world, prostitution has been a thing for time immemorial, but the video was principally about the modern sex industry in Thailand and how that grew. So it's not a matter of disregarding the fact that prostitution was a big thing in Thailand and continues to be a big thing amongst Thais, but we were talking about the Western influence and how that has changed and reshaped, and I think we used the word gentrified the sex industry in Thailand. Your comment about all the kerfuffle over that? We've had a lot of people reacting to that video.
Yeah, I mean, it is, a very popular topic. And although we didn't cover the entire history, it was a brief history. I think we tried to focus on when it really became popular and became, got more global spotlight, I would say. So it wasn't we weren't trying to say that, sex tourism only started because of the Americans post-war or something like that. But it's an important topic that should be discussed in, with different aspects to consider as well. I think Natty took her time to cover the topic through different aspects and how it had things to do with, what was it?
I think there is an opening for sure for different covering that topic in different ways. But that was a brief history of how sort of the modern sex industry has shaped into the way it is.
Yeah.
And COVID has had a big impact on that.
Yeah.
The fact that I think a lot of the sex workers have found out that they don't have to necessarily go to a bar to be part of an operation where people can come in and talk to them and perhaps take them away. They've discovered the internet.
That's exactly right.
And things like YouTube and OnlyFans have just exploded for those particular people over the past few years. How will that affect the reopening of the Thai sex industry for foreigners coming to Thailand? I think it's an ongoing story.
And if we did a video of the sex industry currently, it will be a completely different video because, like you said, people have found new ways, creative ways, to basically deal with the current situation and moved more to online platforms rather than the streets.
And there are, as you know, countless videos, like thousands of videos of people in some of those hotspots showing you their impression of how the industry works and how it actually is. So I suppose as a semi-reliable news organisation, as some of you refer to us as, we're trying, I suppose, just to portray it from a completely objective point of view. And I thought Natty did a pretty good job giving you a brief history of some of the major milestones over the past 50 or 60 years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've enjoyed today's Thaiger Bites. If you do have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and we might address it in our next episode. As for now, I'd like to say thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, viewer.
Yeah, thank you, Jason, behind the buttons, and see you next week.
And thank you, Trishada Villas.
Trishada.
Thank you very much.